Today, we can't imagine our lives without phones. They're in our pockets, at work, and even in our watches. But how did it all start? Who first came up with the idea of transmitting voice over wires? How mobile phones appeared? And why old phones rang for real? In this video, we will go from the first telegraph lines to 5 grams and smartphones. The history of telephone communication is the story of how humanity learned to hear each other from a distance. Here we go. Humanity has always strived to overcome distances in order to communicate. Our ancestors used smoke signals, drums, carrier pigeons, but all of these methods were slow and limited. The real breakthrough came in the 19th century with the invention of the telegraph. Morse and his co. made it possible to transmit messages over vast distances over wires. But it was just text. The dream of live voice transmission remained unfulfilled. In 1876, an event occurred that changed the world forever. Alexander Graham, an American and Canadian scientist, received a patent for the first phone. It is said that his first words, conveyed over the phone to assistant Thomas Watson, were, "Mr. Watson, come here. I need your help." It wasn't just an experiment, it was the beginning of a new era. Of course, the history of the invention of the telephone is not so simple, and many scientists have worked on similar technologies. The Italian-American inventor Antonio Meucci, for example, demonstrated his telephone device even before Bell. However, it was Bell who managed to achieve commercial success and recognition. The first telephones were bulky and inconvenient, and communication was carried out through manual switches. To make a call, it was necessary to contact the operator, who manually connected the subscribers. It was painstaking work, and one could often hear the famous phrase, "Young lady, please connect with." But progress did not stand still. Telephones became smaller, more convenient, and telephone lines were laid all over the world. Automatic telephone exchanges have appeared. The network grew, designs changed, and new features were added. From wall-mounted devices with a pen to desktop phones with a dial, each decade has brought its own innovations. The 20th century brought with it a revolution in mobile communications. In 1973, Martin Cooper from Motorola made the first call from a portable cell phone. It was a real brick weighing more than a kilogram, but it gave unprecedented freedom, the ability to speak anywhere. Mobile phones have become smaller, lighter, and smarter every year. In the late 90s, SMS messages appeared, and then internet access. And finally, in 2007, Apple introduced the first iPhone, which forever changed the idea of the phone, turning it into a multifunctional smartphone. Today's smartphones are powerful computers in our pockets. They not only allow us to make calls and send messages, but also to take photos, shoot videos, go online, work, study, and have fun. We can see each other on the screen, communicate without language barriers, and use our phones to control our smart homes. From humble beginnings to the most sophisticated technologies, the history of the telephone is the story of a human desire to communicate, to overcome distances, to unite the world. This is a story about how one invention changed our lives forever. And remember, every time you pick up your phone, you're holding a piece of this amazing, ever-evolving story. Today's smartphones are powerful computers in our pockets that have changed every aspect of our lives. They have become an integral part of our existence, and their evolution continues at breakneck speed. That's all from me until we meet again.